G'day, welcome back, and another video from me, another talking head video. And what am I going to talk about today? Well, a lot of people have emailed me and said, hey, did you see the latest video from Rotor-riot? See the terrible thing they did? They dived a bridge. And yes, I did watch the video. Actually, I even left a comment on it saying, you're ruining the hobby for the rest of us because I can't fly that well and it makes me feel bad. But honestly, now a lot of people are asking, is this a good thing? Should they be stopped? Are they doing damage to the hobby? What's going on here? And I can understand there's a lot of people, especially in Canada, where they've got regulators that come from the Stone Age and don't have a clue what they're doing. These regulators are saying, well, drones are going to kill people, and they even have these alleged reports of drones hitting planes. And so you've got to realise that in Canada, people are really concerned. Model flyers are concerned they're going to lose all their rights and privileges. Looks like they're going to lose a lot of them anyway, but they don't want people coming into their country and wrecking it for them. And I can understand that. I mean, the bridge dive, okay, Tommy is really good. He is the dive king of the world. We know that. He can dive anything. And he dived the bridge and nothing went wrong and everything was safe. And, people say there's two sides to this. We've got a whole lot of comments on that video saying, wow, fantastic, great, whoa, And then we've got the other people saying, oh no, you're ruining the hobby. And so, who's correct? Which side is correct in this debate? Well, I know Chad Capper is trying to build a brand here. That's what Chad does. Chad's very good. He's a very astute brand builder. He built the Flight Test brand, and now he's building the Rotor-riot brand. I think he's finding the Rotor-riot brand a bit harder to build than Flight Test because the mini-quad market is quite a bit smaller than the general aero modelling market. And so he has to do some extreme things to get, when you're building brands, you've got to do extreme things to get noticed. And doing bad things is as good as doing good things when it comes to actually just getting your name out there. There's no such thing as bad publicity. And that's what they say, and it's very, very true if you are trying to just get established, get your name known. I mean, look at after the FAA sued Trappy for flying commercially without permission, Trappy became known worldwide, all around the world. Prior to that, he was only known within the hobby community. Then after the FAA tried to string him from the highest tree, everybody knew Trappy. So from Trappy's point of view, the brand awareness just went through the roof. And this is what's happening with Chad. If he's doing videos that are controversial, that are creating debate, and debate is always a good thing, then he's building his brand, and he's doing it in the most cost-effective way that he probably knows how, which is to do stuff that people notice. And people certainly notice that bridge dive, although I'm quite surprised there's only been 20-odd thousand views up to this date, because as I say, the mini-quad market is really small. The drone racing market is actually really small. It's very, very difficult to build a brand in there that's going to sustain you, especially when you've got someone like Rotor-riot team and you've got, Chad Nowick and Grinder, what's his name, Butt Grinder? Anyway, all these people. Trying to support them through one brand is difficult to do in today's marketplace with, everyone thought drone racing was going to be the big thing, but it turns out it's boring as bat poo to watch if you're not, really, really into it. And a lot of people just aren't really, really into it. So it's difficult. Chad's in a difficult position. But getting back to the whole thing now, Chad, Rotor-riot could try and please everybody. But another saying that's well worth listening to is you can't please all the people all the time. And if you try to please all the people all the time, you end up generally pleasing nobody at all, ever. So that's a wasted strategy. So Chad has obviously chosen his strategy, and that is do something controversial, get people talking about it. Because when they talk about this bridge dive, they're talking about Rotor-riot. They're talking about his brand and brand awareness. He needs more sales of Rotor-riot swag and motors and stuff like that, and more people watching the channel. So yeah, it's probably a purely commercial decision on the part of Chad Capper. I can understand where he's coming from. Goodness knows it's a hard enough job, but he's just doing what is the logical commercial thing to do. Now, unfortunately, you take a risk with that. You really do. Because if something had gone wrong with that bridge dive, then the effect on the Rotor-riot branding would have been disastrous. So long as things go well, this actually boosts the brand's awareness in the outside even the hobby into the general marketplace. Because if a news organisation finds this video and they then hook it up with the drone hits, Black Hawk helicopter drone hits, plane landing in Montreal, all this sort of stuff, they're going to ramp it up and say, can you imagine the headline? Can you imagine the headline? Hundreds escape death as drone plummets down side of bridge. That's what we'll get in the media. We've got to remember that when it comes to the media, perception is reality. It doesn't matter that was no one got hurt, no one, not even any gear was broken, because if the media get hold of it, and they want to sell some papers and get some eyes on web pages and on TV, then they will hype the crap out of it. And they'll turn it into a terror story. Oh, everyone on that bridge came so close to dying. And Chad has to be aware that what Rotor-riot does doesn't just affect them, it affects everybody in the hobby. Everybody. Let's just say something bad happened. Let's say that Tommy's drone threw a blade, went through the wires and landed in the windscreen of a vehicle travelling down the bridge. They slammed on their brakes to swerve, cars piled into the back of them, there were children thrown out onto the road and people got killed. That would basically almost destroy the hobby in Canada at least. And I don't think anyone's got a right to risk other people's hobbies for commercial gain in that respect. So yeah, I mean, I'm not someone who likes to say you shouldn't do this. I think people have to be responsible for themselves, make their own decisions. But sometimes when the decision can affect so many other people, then you've got to be a little cautious and say, is this really the right thing to do? Now, I'm not going to say he did the wrong thing. I'm not going to say he did the right thing. I'm going to sit on the fence on this because I think the more important thing about this is that we discuss what happened. Because there is no black and white. But what is important is that the community, the model flying community, talks about this. Have a discussion on it so that people like Chad are perhaps better informed next time where the boundaries of acceptable risk lie. So what I want you to do watching this video, if you're still here, you must have found what I'm saying to be slightly interesting. Go to the comments section on this video and tell us what you think. Is Rotor-riot pushing the boundaries just a little too hard? And do they risk other people's hobbies because they want to make a few coin out of what they're doing? I mean, that's the way business works, but you need to tell Chad, tell him through this channel, because, I've brought this subject up. I've brought it to the public forum like this. Everyone else is talking in little forums and people are sending emails, but it needs to be really, really ramped up more because we need to know, Chad needs to know that if he's overstepping the mark, I think it's important that people tell him. But if people are happy with what's going on because they really enjoy the entertainment value and they really feel that, things are safe enough, then tell us that too. Tell us your side of the story. I'm sure there'll be pros and cons, fors and against, and a healthy discussion is the best outcome of this situation. Now, of course, you can be sensational and attract a lot of attention without taking significant risks. I think the guy that flew the mini quad onto the train and under the train, that was a fantastic piece of a brilliant video. You've probably all seen it. If you haven't, if I can find it, I'll put a link in the description of this video. But that was brilliant. And I don't think anyone's lives were endangered. I don't think there's if that drone had crashed, it'd just get crushed by a train. Or if it had got stuck on the roof of the train, well, he'd have lost it. That's it. So that was a really spectacular. In fact, I think that piece of flying was a million times better than the Rotor-riot Bridge dive. Sorry, Tommy, you're really good. But just from the point of view of composition, flying around that train was just so many levels up from diving a bridge. Really was. So what I'd say to Chad is, why don't you come up with, put your thinking cap on, come up with some really, really exciting things that are going to attract people's attention, that's going to gain the respect of the hobby and of the wider community by showing just how good, your team are. Tommy and everyone else, really, really good flyers. Why don't you put them to the test, but do it in a way that no one can actually take it and manipulate it, and the media can't twist it into a bad news story, because God knows we've got enough bad news stories when it comes to the hobby. So that's a challenge to Chad. I'd say, there you go, Chad, here's my challenge for the day. Come up with some videos that have zero risk to the public, but really grab you by the throat and make you want to watch them and make you go, wow, at the end of it. That's a lot harder than just diving a bridge. Really, it honestly is. So I know you've done the little video where you compile other people's clips. Look at those clips. Look at what they've done. Look what made you go wow. And then say, how can I come up with a theme that is even wower? That's a very difficult challenge, but I'm sure you're up to it, Chad. Go for it, mate. Get stuck in. Make us all, drop our jaws in amazement without worrying about any potential fallout from that kind of thing. Difficult task, but I know Chad Kappa's up to it. There you go. That's it from me today. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the video. As I say, have your say. If you don't have your say, you can't grizzle, can you? Okay, it's like voting. If you don't vote, you can't complain when you get a crap government. So tell Rotor-riot what you think, but don't just be bitchy. Come up with some constructive ideas. I mean, I'm a person, when I see something I don't like, I will criticise it, but only after I've tried to come up with some better solution. And generally speaking, I always offer a solution to a problem without just going out and saying, that's crap. I try and come up with a solution and say, you could do it this way, it's better. So there you go. give Chad some ideas. And Chad, if you've got something to say, come on, reply to these comments. Tell people where you're coming from. Have I got it wrong? Maybe I've completely misjudged the whole thing and it's nothing to do with commercial and brand building and stuff like that. So if I've completely misinterpreted things, tell us what's going on so that we all know and we can all feel comfortable and sleep well in our beds at night. There you go. Time for me to get on and do some more work. Got to fly this thing. Woo-hoo. See you later.